If you're a very curious person, you probably run into the issue where you have way too many interests. You love crypto, but then you love spirituality and you love fitness or whatever it might be. Those are some of my interests. You have this issue where you feel like everything needs to connect in some way, and it's not clear how everything is connecting. If you've run into this issue, as I have, then this video is something that you need to hear. I had the first session of a new class I'm taking called Middle Eastern Literature today. So we spent the entire class talking about literature and these ancient, not even ancient, but contemporary Middle Eastern poets and writers and thinkers and all these things. And this professor sounded like he said he'd spent 21 years or 22 years into this one subject. So I formed this image of him, oh, he must be a very deep thinker and reader and philosopher, and just his whole life, I'm assuming, was just centered around this one thing. And then we got to the end of the class, and I asked him about artificial intelligence and an honors project that I was working on. And he mentions that he actually is very deep into crypto and artificial intelligence and all these futuristic technologies and this whole tech side. And that just caught me on my blind side, or whatever the saying is. I didn't expect that from him because I had seen him as this literature guy. But it turns out he has this entirely other side that he refers to as his alternate persona or an alternate personality, where it's a whole different thing that he's doing. And this actually connects with something that I just did today in a Mark Manson course. It's called the Find Your Purpose course or something like that in his new school, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck School or something like that he just launched. And in this course, he talks about how important it is to have multiple things that you derive your purpose from. If you're only deriving purpose from, say, one thing in your life, say your relationships, then what happens if you lose those relationships? What happens if you break up with your spouse or your significant other, or your friendships fall through? You're left thinking that you have nothing meaningful in your life because you've only been deriving significance and purpose from those relationships. And Mark Manson talks about how important it is to diversify. In the same way you would diversify an investment portfolio, diversifying the places that you get meaning from and purpose from in your life. So that be your career, that be your relationships, it also be hobbies and causes that you support and all these other things that also can give you a sense of purpose. So a question I suppose I would propose to you to reflect on is, where are you currently deriving meaning from in your life? How diversified are you in your meaning portfolio? Is there just one thing that's your main thing, and if that thing falls through, you're kind of screwed? If so, you may want to look for some other places in your life that you can set goals or pursue and derive meaning from. Because therefore, no matter what happens to any individual one, you'll still feel like your life is purposeful. And you'll wake up in the morning with some sense of significance or meaning, and you'll go to bed at night feeling like the day was well spent. This whole idea of being comfortable, having your life be a very wide variety of different things is really weird for me, because for some reason I've always had this desire for everything to click together, everything to make sense. Like, I'm into this and that is connected to this other thing in this way and this other thing in this way. So like technology, spirituality, marketing, writing, music and drumming, like all these different things I want to try to make come together in some beautiful, clear, perfect way. But what I'm realizing is that it's okay for them not to. It's okay to have very diverse, dramatic, different interests, passions, and curiosities. And that actually makes you more of a unique and interesting person as well. So it's not something to be feared or something to want to avoid, to have very diverse and a broad range of interests. The professor I mentioned earlier actually referenced Voldemort and how he split his soul into 7 different pieces, and how doing so gives him a sense of resilience as a person. And I love this idea of splitting your soul into different pieces. I can split my soul into a music soul, into a crypto soul, into a spirituality soul, into a fitness soul. All of these different souls that I have that come together to make Ryan, with my ultimate combination of split souls into one person. I think that's a really cool way to think about it, and it's probably how I'll do it going forward. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. It's just a short video, more of a message to myself and perhaps anyone else out there who feels this desire for everything to come together perfectly and click perfectly, and to only be able to justify your interest in something and how it might connect to other things. For me, I've been very worried about, if I get really into this thing like programming, how does that connect to everything else that I'm doing? And I try to create this perfect future vision of how everything connects. And learning to just accept that, you know what, everything doesn't have to connect. I can actually have just different interests, and I can do different things at different times, and for that to be okay is a weirdly difficult message for me to truly understand. So this message that I'm making, this video, is kind of just a message to myself and anyone else who might struggle with the same thing. I'm trying to create the perfect image, the perfect world, and the perfect life. Just accept that you're going to have different elements of your life. You're going to have different souls, and to bring them all together is not necessary. You can keep them separate and enjoy that. If you like this video, if you found that useful, let me know. I would love to see if there are other people that struggle with this idea of living separate lives, wanting to bring everything together. Drop a comment down below and let me know if you can relate to that. If not, check out the rest of the channel. If you're new here, I make videos on, I don't know, philosophical, self-help type stuff, also like digital nomad lifestyle. Gonna be doing a lot more crypto related stuff because I'm deep down the rabbit hole right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out the channel, you'll kind of get an idea of what's out there. With that said, thank you very much for watching. Mahalo, and take care, everyone.